Hi guys, welcome back to London. It's summer, or very nearly summer, and I'm very much looking forward to that. It's going to be hot and sunny and rain a lot like now. So yeah, it's going to be a great time. I'm planning to visit London. I live here, so I get to visit every day. But we've got a lot to celebrate this year. We have a beach on the banks of the Thames, man-made of course, opposite the skate park. This summer we also get to vote on our EU membership in a referendum. The EU was a vision and a dream of this gentleman here, one of our former Prime Ministers, Sir Winston Churchill. In a speech he gave in 1946 in Zurich, he outlined a vision and a dream for, he called it a United States of Europe, for want of a better name. And it ultimately became the, I forget the name and the acronym for it, but it ultimately became what is the EU today. First of all through regulating coal and steel, so it was the European Administration of Coal and Steel, I guess. He'll tell me in the comments below if it wasn't, but yeah, he hoped it would create long-lasting peace in Europe. He just witnessed the greatest conflict in human history, World War II, and the first use of atomic weapons. Today, I think he'd be proud that his vision had kept peace in Europe. War is, with our partners, pretty unthinkable right now, but I think it'd also be completely livid at the way it's administered, the way the EU is run, in particular the lack of democracy within it. And that's something, whether we stay in or whether we leave, which is up to the people, we need to look at in great detail. But yeah, I think the EU's been a success in many things, certainly the original vision of keeping peace, but maybe it's overstepped its original remit. So yeah, something really dividing the nation in debate, and will continue to all summer. There's a lot to think about. This is Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, right on the bank of the Thames, or well, it's a reproduction, a replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, and 2016 marks the 400th anniversary of William Shakespeare's death, who was arguably one of Britain's most famous and celebrated writers, poets and sometime actor. So throughout the year there'll be a lot of events and programmes by many art, culture and creative organisations throughout the year, throughout the country, celebrating the life and work of William Shakespeare. And Shakespeare segues nicely onto where I want to go next, because arguably one of his greatest, I guess, inspirations for storylines and characters are from probably the most enduring love story, tragedy, drama of all time, the royal family. 2016 marks the 90th birthday of Her Majesty the Queen, so I thought I'd make a video, a vlog to mark that. Visiting the Queen is something that's very popular with tourists, especially children, and the best time to do it, well, when I say visit the Queen, what they mean is come and admire Buckingham Palace, which is at the end of this street. There's another palace there, St James's Palace. The Queen's residence is Buckingham Palace, and the best time to visit is between 11 a.m, 11:30 a.m, because the Queen's guarded by the British Army, and they change the guard. And most days they do it in full dress uniform, as opposed to combat gear, I suppose. So yeah, you get to see that. British Army do two things particularly well, they're renowned for. First begins with K, keeping the peace. Second is parading, with all the pomp and pageantry fit for a queen. Yeah, if you're ever questioning the popularity and draw of the Queen, check out all these tourists. The whole street's lined with them. I think I've got caught up in one of the tour guides. So yeah, thought I'd take you guys to visit Buckingham Palace. It's just gone 11 a.m, so I'm guessing they'll change the guard soon. Hopefully it'll happen today, because they're also doing a full dress rehearsal over there for Trooping of the Colour on the Queen's birthday celebrations. But the changing of the guard happens most days. I'll put a link to the British Army's website below, so you can check. If you're planning a visit, you can check whether it's happening or not. But basically, the Guards Barracks on the other side of that park, Wellington Barracks, they guard Buckingham Palace, which is in front of me, and St James's Palace, which is just there. So there are troops in full dress uniform coming from 3 directions, coming from and heading to the barracks. The Queen's guarded by a handful of household army regiments, and they take it in turns to guard the Queen and residencies. So every time it's a little different, because they've all got different dress uniforms. So let's see if we can catch a glimpse of it. There's Buckingham Palace. But there is a massive crowd here every day to watch changing the guard. So let's see if we can catch a glimpse of it. I just had a quick walk round to get closer to the palace, to get a closer view. To be honest, it's so thick with people. I think if I battle my way in, I'll never get my way out, and I'm kind of hoping that we'll get to see a better view of the troops from here. But yeah, if you want a good view of the palace, come at a different time to changing the guard. But you probably can't make out on the roof of Buckingham Palace is a flag right now. It's the Union Jack, and a lot of people get muddled with this. That actually means the Queen is not in residence there. If she is, her flag, the Royal Standard, will be flying on top of the palace. So we'll be flying wherever she is, even if it's in a car. Okay, I'm going to walk a little bit further down from the palace, where the crowds are a little bit less thicker. I was hoping to catch a changing of the guard, but I think what I've inadvertently walked into is a full dress rehearsal for Trooping of the Colour, which is the actual celebrations for the Queen's birthday in a couple of weeks. So they'll be practicing that for a little while, obviously without the Queen. So yeah, it's the crowd's thin out a little bit here, further away from the palace and further towards where they're practicing right now. Horse Guards Parade, I guess. Don't know if you can hear it, but you can definitely hear drums from further down the mall. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll get more than we bargained for. is a huge parade going on back there. Just asked a copper what time they'll be parading down the mall from here. He said about 12:10. Military precision and all that. It's about 20 minutes away, so I'm going to head further back down the mall, try and get a good spot to see it all go past. I guess I can briefly explain why we have a Queen, because this is her birthday celebrations. The fundamental reason is the people want one. That's you can look at the history books and see how we got to where we are today, and the reasons and the role has changed and evolved. But yeah, fundamentally, public opinion, we don't necessarily need one. We need a head of state, but there are plenty of people. Well, opinion polls show 7 or 8 out of 10 people pretty consistently want a monarchy. I think it's better than the alternative, and 2 or 3 would rather we had a publicly elected head of state. The arguments generally boil down to money and power, like most things. It is an expense, but a deal was done back in 1760 by the then government and the then monarchy. It was a pretty sustainable deal. The monarchy put a lot of property in trust, and they derive their income. Well, they don't. It's the government run it for them. The government take a massive chunk of the revenue from the property, and I think about 15% is given to the monarchy as a wage, kind of, if you can call it that. There is other expenses, as you can imagine, but I think the people that are calling for Republicans, so worst ways, say the monarchy costs about 300 million, but the Crown Estate, the property company, generates about that for the a little bit less for the government. So it's short of knocking the royal family of their inheritance, it's pretty much a done deal. It's part of British culture, history. It'd be pretty hard to unwrap it. And plus, the Queen has been a good head of state. The Americans are currently electing a new one, and the bookies are pretty confident it'll either be Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. So electing one is not a foolproof way of getting a great head of state, and at least a non-elected one that's born to do the job, doesn't have to constantly look over their shoulder in a power struggle with colleagues like elected politicians. And yeah, I guess the other argument is, well, that's it, democracy. People think we should elect one, but I think the Queen's done a reasonably, I know she's done a very good job being head of state. And as you can see from all the people turned out, she's a huge draw for most of these will be tourists, so she's a huge draw. Well, there are a few Brits, plus there are the TV crews here, but yeah, she's a huge draw for tourism, flying the flag for Britain. Union Jack. Parade's coming. It's also just started raining. See all the umbrellas popping up. Didn't bring one. But yeah, let's check out the parade. I guess there'll be more coming in a moment because there was a lot more of them than that on the parade ground. Here we go. Pretty cool, huh? I'd hoped to catch changing in the garden a bit more than I bargained for. I noticed the Queen has 2 birthdays. She has her own birthday, her actual birthday, like you and I, and then the public celebrations are in the summer. I think it's more practicality than just a luxury. Her birthday's in April. This requires fine weather, but not too hot, so they hold it in June. But yeah, I knew the proper version of this, which includes the Queen, she'll be in one of those carriages, and I guess the royal family, is in 2 weeks' time. I know there's a dress rehearsal in a week's time because my parents and I think my aunties, maybe my uncles, have tickets to watch it from the grandstands in Horse Cars Parade, the full thing. But I didn't think they did it 2 weeks before the actual thing as well. So I was hoping this would be the last opportunity to catch changing of the guard at a weekend before the birthday celebration practice and the actual event. But yeah, sorry about that. If you normally come here, you'll get to see a much more condensed version of that up by the palaces. But yeah, if you're coming to visit the Queen, come in and check out Buckingham Palace. Check the Army's website, I'll put a link below, and try and come at around 11:30 when they change the Queen's Guard. So anyway, I hope you can hear me. They're cleaning up after the horses. I guess they want to reopen the road. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Quick trip to Buckingham Palace that turned into a full dress rehearsal for Trooping of the Colour. So thanks for watching, and until next time, toodles! Don't get me wrong, I'm lucky enough to have been born in a city and live in a city where thousands of people want to visit every day. However, well, I'd rather live in a city where thousands of people want to visit every day than the opposite, where no one wants to come. But today I have spent the whole day in the thick of the tourism and the tourists, and I have to say they're all on vacation. They're a very slow moving herd, and they've got places to go and things to do and work to do. They can get in the way. Glad they're here though. Every time I walk across this bridge, I see the con artists there. They do like the balls under the cup magic trick, I guess, and people bet on it. They're just iconic tourists, and they're there all the time. And I've always wondered if they ever get busted. Today is that day. I've seen them doing the con trick all the time, but never a load of undercover police and uniform ones busting them. So yeah, they do get busted. I'm wondering what I'm going to call this vlog. I went to Buckingham Palace to see changing of the guard. I didn't see changing of the guard. I saw Trooping of the Colour, but the Queen wasn't in it because it was a full dress rehearsal. And Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. I guess you'll already know.
And also for like